We literally can eat a box of pizza and tell you, guy, you still go chop that burger. Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Iduma, and if you're very new to my YouTube channel, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, don't forget to share, because I make videos on health, fitness and lifestyle specifically for an African person, male or female. My content here is for Africans who want to be healthy, fit, strong. If you're African and you're looking for content that represents you, do subscribe to my YouTube channel and welcome to the family. Let's get to the root of this. Why are Nigerians fat? Like I said, my content is for Africans, but because I'm Nigerian, I wanted to get like a Nigerian perspective. I asked on my Instagram, do we think that there's a growing population of people that are overweight? And 81% of you did say that there's a growing population of Nigerians that are overweight. 19% of you disagree, and most of you boiled down your arguments to the fact that there's a lot of poverty, which is true. There's a lot of poverty, there's a lot of underdevelopment in Africa, not just in Nigeria. So the population of people that are malnourished are like still high, but then there's also a trend of growing number of people that are overweight, and 81 of you agreed. On my Instagram too, if you want to follow me, it's Iduma. And I move forward to an Instagram and I ask people, why do you people think Nigerians are overweight? Surprisingly, you guys didn't disappoint, because honestly speaking, I'm always afraid to like put up those polls. They put like, ask me anything. I feel like it's only when you've made it, you should be asking somebody, ask me anything. I really was surprised, and I'm really excited to get into the question. Like, I'm on my transparent glasses. That's because every information, I don't want to miss it. I hope I'm not speaking too fast. So like I said, I have the question, like your replies here, and like I said, you guys did pull through, and I asked to some of my friends, some of my family members, to send me videos too and your replies, because I wanted to get a very holistic point of view. Let's just get into the video already. I'm talking too much. Let's get into the deets, right? Like what are you still saying? What? So Omara here, Omara, if you don't know, she has a YouTube channel too. So if you want to check her out, she does like beauty, lifestyle, and very amazing stuff. She said here, the kind of food we eat or the way it's prepared, a lot of carbs, a lot of carbohydrates, and a lot of sugar. She didn't just say the kind of food we eat, because Nigerian food is very carb based. There's a lot of yam, there's a lot of potatoes, there's a lot of rice, there's a lot of rice. My most popular video, if you want, you can check the video. I did say, Nigerian food are like very oil dense, because Nigeria puts in a lot of salt and a lot of oils into their meals, so everything is like dense and really rich. So it's not just the food we eat, it's the way we make it, and the way we make it can be very unhealthy. And Nigerians love everything fried. Their oil must be fried, everything is fried. Salt goes into rice, salt goes into plantains. What we eat, as much as people say it's carbs, they are very complex carbs. Yam is a complex carb. Plantains are complex carbs. So you see, we have a lot of complex carbs. It doesn't really make sense why we are overweight, or a lot of people are struggling to lose weight because of carbs. And it all boils down to the way we prepare it. So the next question here from Amoge _97 says, we are a developing country, so we will start to see a decline in communicable diseases and non-communicable ones as we continue to develop. See, I went to school, I can't lie, but I don't really understand this point. But then if you're watching this and you want us to really understand what you're saying, maybe leave a comment down below so that everybody gets up to speed with what you're saying. So from Abigail says dieting and exercise is not the norm. We don't have that dieting culture. There's nothing called paleo diet, military diet. There's only one thing called here in Nigeria, and it's basically Nigerian food. Nigerians too don't really have that culture of exercising. Like, their routine is not to wake up and do jumping jacks. It's basically wake up, hustle, put food on your kids' table, and the cycle continues. The next comment is from Obin, and she says, the decrease in daily exercise and activity, an increase in the reliance of vehicles during the day to travel from place to place. means less walking and less activities, so less calories that are taken in through food are burnt. It makes a lot of sense because it's supposed to be calorie in versus calorie out. So the more you're taking in, you're supposed to expend it, you're supposed to burn it off. And it's part of what the dietitian I brought in last week in my last video actually like explained in details, the need for you to expend energy through exercise, because it's very hard to track our calories. It's very hard to even stay on track with calories overall with Nigerian food. That means you're not able to like burn it off. And you know, as I said, Nigerian food are very like carb dense. You're not expending it through energy, it's still going to store up as fat, so causing people to be overweight. And then she now says less manual work during the day may contribute for people working in non-manual roles. The manual roles we knew years ago have actually changed. Nigerians are now really sitting in offices and just pressing the computers or answering the phones. There's not a lot of movement goes into like our jobs these days. People are no longer into farming and agriculture. Like before, people would go to work, come back, still go to the farm. Nobody walks to the office, really. Nobody walks to the office. Everybody really relies on vehicles. Even when I was in Dublin, people on bicycles and walking are really more than the vehicles on the road. That's a reverse in the Nigerian case. If I see somebody cycling in Nigeria, you look stupid. It's not our culture to like cycle. It's not even our culture to walk. Like if you tell somebody, oh, I'm walking here for 30 minutes, they look at you crazy. But then you really can't blame them because the weather here in Nigeria is very hot. So it's not really color advisable for you to be moving around on your legs. No, don't. Like be active, but then don't walk under Nigerian sun like that. That's dangerous. Like you become black. She added to, this is actually a long comment, both exercise and food intake contributes to multiple factors. Some of these include, but not limited to, she knows her English, man. This girl is putting the English down. This is like an essay. So, not limited to perceived cultural norms, gender differences, family genetics, educational level, social class, status, jobs. These are really good factors. So the next comment said, I will put it on diet and the fact that a lot of people do not exercise. What's your take? Well, you've got to my take on that. A lot of us don't exercise. And the next comment too is from Neddy. She said because we eat more carbs.
So we eat like rice, moi, spaghetti, jollof rice, small chops and all that stuff. And all of these foods have like a lot of vegetable oil in them. So I eat fried yam, fried egg, the spaghetti and the rest. And then after like eating these, we now eat these things late.
The next comment too is from Debbie_O, and she said in some populations stress increases the probability of stress eating, which in turn leads to being overweight.
Hi everybody, my name is Oyuju. I feel like Nigerians practically game in true stress. A typical Nigerian with a white collar job gets up so early in the morning, they go to work, they're tired, and they just want to come home and eat. We're not even talking about the people that do like bricklaying, cement mixing. Those ones, you can't even count the amount of food they're going to eat when they get back home. Students too, they go to school, they're students, they come back home, they're tired, they're stressed out, they want to eat. You know how they eat now? Shawarma, pizza, everything. They're going to eat, they're going to gain weight easily. Mothers at home, after doing the house chores, the mopping, the sweeping, the cooking, they just want to eat. They want to stay there and eat. Practically, when everybody's tired, the first thing that comes to their mind is just to have a good meal. They will eat and they will eat until they are full.
The fact that your stress just leads you to produce more, cortisol hormone, which is the stress hormone, which in turn leads to your hunger hormone being like open, and you're just open to eating more. The same Debbie O said too much of salt, a myth though. It's not really a myth to me. Too much of salt can really cause you to gain weight, but not necessarily weight, but like water weight. And then she also adds poverty and underprivileged groups. In terms of poverty, Obi2 also mentioned here, the portions of carbohydrates in the regular meal is high. Yams, carbohydrates, pounded yams are food staples. However, they make up a large portion of the meals eaten. Look at English. In the past and now, in some communities, these large portions of carbohydrates may be important for energy when a lot of manual work is carried out daily. It also may be important for people who do not have the luxury of choice and are limited in certain foods. However, the increase in sedentary life combined with meals containing large portions of carbohydrates may contribute to an increase in weight. Let's break it down with what she said. We obviously know, like everybody has been saying, our foods are like high in carbs and they are staples. And she mentioned too the large portions of the meals that are eaten. We eat a lot of large portions. Owambe is not the only time we eat a lot of large portions. I tell you, Nigerians eat third plates, fourth plates, fifth plates, and I'm not talking about small meals. I'm talking about grigba meals. Don't try a Nigerian in your wedding, because we're gonna eat down your kitchen. We eat a lot of carbs, yes, but everything boils down to our portions. We literally can eat a box of pizza and tell you, guy, you still go chop that burger. So, yeah, she's right. People who do not have the luxury of choice are limited to certain foods, which actually highlights the point Debbie made about poverty and being underprivileged, not really allowing you to have the choice of having proteins and having vegetables in your meal, and just limiting you to just the carbohydrates. That's because these carbohydrates are staples, but at the same time too, these staples are everywhere. They're very accessible and they're very affordable too for most homes, so they don't really have the choice of picking those meals. Her comment really shows the reality of what happens in Nigeria and what happens in Africa overall. My subscribers are very intelligent. Look at how the English they are speaking, and look at my own English. The next person's comment here is from Neema Ali. She said it's because we eat a lot of eba. If you are not Nigeria, eba is cassava flour that we make into what is called eba. In my own home, a lot of homes in the southeast, we eat a lot of eba. We would die on eba, so bury us in a coffin of eba. And a lot of like men, even women like my sister, literally can eat eba morning, afternoon and night. Just change the soup and she's content. The same thing with my father. So there's a lot of eba eating, and eba is really starchy because it's cassava. It is ewayo. Most people don't know they are overweight. They feel their parents are big, so it's normal. Yeah, people don't really think they're overweight. If you really want to know if you're overweight, take a BMI test. We'll leave a link to like the BMI test, so that where you put your height, your age, and it tells you whether you're overweight or you're moderately obese or just normal, you get. But most people actually don't know that they're overweight, and then they move around being overweight because weight is very specific to you, in my own opinion, because I can be 5'3" and weigh 75 kilos, and for my body it's being overweight. But my brother now that is like 6'3" and weighs 75, that is normal for his body size, and because of he's a large human being. As she says, they feel like being big is normal because their parents are big, and if you've actually grown up all your life being big, you don't really see yourself as overweight. You can't. If somebody even tells you you're overweight, you're like, what do you mean? Like, what's that? Is our family trees in our line? You get, like, it's a family disease. Hadassah said, I can't really say a stressful life and scattered eating plans, tradition, way of life. A scattered eating plan, because one minute you're eating healthy, like if like every Nigerian mother has said this, I'm looking for shape, this is the year, and the next week you're seeing how she's eating eba, and the next week you're seeing how she's eating like salad. You're so confused, like, what is happening here? Lose weight or not? What is going on? And traditions and way of life, our way of life is really relaxed. Our way of life is not really as structured as theirs, because sometimes in my own household we cook up to like 11 p.m. and once the food is ready, that is when we're going to eat it. So deal with it, basically. Ada here says, because for 2 months now our routine has been sleeping, eating, watching movies again and again. Pandemic actually like has increased like the number of people that will come out being overweight here in Nigeria, because we have really been inside the house, and Nigerians are very attached to their fridge right now, and we are just eating, sleeping, And even when we do exercise, that's another thing too people don't know. Like when you exercise, you can, exercise for 30 minutes, but 30 minutes of exercise is not enough to say my body has been active for a day. You need to take on an average 8,000 steps plus your exercise. Actually, the next one is from Chisom, and she says people are beginning to get comfortable with saying na fat I no key person.
I can't kill myself for Lele.
I can't kill myself. Basically, that's the attitude Nigerians have. Like, now fat I no kill person. That simply means I'm just fat. I didn't kill anybody. I want to speak from my own point of view. When I make this kind of statement, it normally comes from a place of being defensive, where I don't want to feel hurt, or I don't want to feel the fact that you are shaming me in a way, because Nigerians really know how to body shame you. Like, Nigerians know how to butcher your self-esteem. Trust me. It comes from that place of I want to defend my self-esteem, but then it's a dangerous slope to go. And when you go down that slope, it's very, very, very easy for you to just become overweight and ultimately become moderately obese. B. Abba says because of YOLO or now only person will get like fit chop. And it ultimately rings to what Chisom did say, that we have that I only live once mentality.
I can't kill myself for Lele.
I don't know, like, it's a healthy mentality to have, like, I only live once. Because I only live once, I should take care of my body. I only have one chance to take care of my body. I only have one chance to live this life and know that I fed my body with what it needs, because my body is the temple of God. Like, I don't know, because I'm Christian, I have that mentality of YOLO too, but there's sometimes I do have that perspective of I only live once. Let's say I had a stressful week and a stressful deadline of essays to reach. After that essay, I do put on that mentality of I only live once. Like, it is now or never. If I don't eat this amala, I'm gonna die. So I indulge in all those kind of things. But after like 2 weeks of going on that, and you look at yourself in the mirror, you're like, what did I do to myself? And then if you know anything about going back in shape, you know that is very, very difficult, and it requires a lot of commitment to be healthy. So by the time you actually like let yourself go, and you begin to get your senses that you've let yourself go, and you start to put in the work required to get yourself back together, and you see it's hard. Sometimes you go back to that mentality of I only live once, and I no keep person, that fat I no keep person. So everything leads to a full cycle of being overweight and being moderately obese. So the next comment is from dealia.com. She says here, because we are all at home eating this COVID. The next comment here is from the Pamela Alfred. She's also a YouTuber, so do check her out. And she says, hella carbs, man, with the crying emoji. Carbohydrates are mains and proteins are sides. That's the issue. Normally I used to think I eat a lot of proteins, but like when I'm at home and I watch my mother serve me protein, I know I don't eat protein because she gives me a piece of meat. So meat is my side. And we don't eat a lot of vegetables here. Like, our meals do incorporate a lot of vegetables and spinach, water leaf, green. It's not like we pack a lot of it. Do you get, like, in, let's say, oha soup now, it's like a handful of the oko you put in. So it's not really like we have 5 cups of vegetable with the cups of rice we eat. And the next person is Ademi, and she says here, because people eat like criminals. Damn it, this is savage. We only get satisfied after 10 plates, and then even when we eat healthy, like healthy things or healthy fruits, and I think that's why we have that conception of fruits to make you fat. It's not because fruits will make you fat, it's the portion of fruits we eat that makes us fat, because we can literally easily eat for you 15 pieces of banana, and yes, we are not satisfied. We eat the 15 pieces of banana, eat our eba, yes, we love our eba, eat our jollof rice, yes, because we love our jollof rice, eat let me not list everything we eat. It comes down to that criminal mentality of like, I have to have it all. Like some people even eat with trays. Am I wrong? So Victoria_Oke says quarantine and staying at home, which is so true. As everybody here has mentioned, the last comment is from my own sister, and she's like the person behind this camera, and it's very refreshing to see her in front of the camera, in front of you guys, and this is what she had to say about Nigerians being overweight. So
I feel like Nigerians are overweight because we tend to eat too late. I feel like food is sweetest like in the midnight. So another reason why I feel like Nigerians are overweight is because we starve ourselves. I know, right? I'm sure you're wondering, what's this girl saying? How will you be overweight by starving yourself? Let me tell you why. Do you know what Nigerians do? Some Nigerians I know, what they decide to do is that they starve themselves. They won't eat in the morning, they won't eat in the afternoon. Then when they finally eat in the night, they eat 4 to 5 plates of rice. I've seen this firsthand. So if you want to starve yourself, at least do it right. I'm not saying it's good to starve yourself, but then do it right if you really want to starve yourself. It doesn't make sense if you eat breakfast, you won't eat lunch, but then in the night you eat 4 plates of rice. You're eating even more than what you'd have consumed if you had eaten your breakfast and if you had eaten your lunch. And some people, they even tell you, oh, I'm fasting. That is not a fast. Just cut back on the amount of food you eat. Don't just starve yourself completely. And if you now want to starve yourself, don't starve yourself and eat 4 to 5 plates of food when you now finally eat, because it's not right.
something people don't really even talk about is the time we eat. Like I said, whenever the food is ready, that is when we eat. So Nigerians really have that beautiful culture that is toxic of eating late. And you know, regardless of the fact that we're eating late, it doesn't mean we're eating in small portions. And the thing about Nigeria is our first meals, like breakfast, is very light, and then for lunch we can just have rice. But then in the night, that is when we have like our largest meals. The way you should have your meals is the opposite. Breakfast should be heavier, then lunch should be, you know, less heavy, and then dinner should be light. But that's not what we do in Nigeria. And then we then eat it very, very late. Like I don't mean like late, like 7 o'clock. No, we eat like 10 o'clock, 11, 12, 1. I even do it. It's everybody. Food is very difficult to break down at night. Like it will take your body a long time to break down the fufu and the amala at the same time. So Eunice did like draw in a lot of points in terms of, you know, Nigerians that are fasting and, you know, the starving culture. It's not about what she said, like starving yourself right. It's about just listening to your body right. And when you're hungry, eat. If you want to drink water, you drink. Is really listening to your body, like intuitively listening to your body and giving your body what it needs and what it requires. And most times your body requires food, most times your body requires exercise. And for everybody that sent in their comments here, from, you know, I want to call all of you by your names: Hadassah, to Ada, to Chisom, to Neema, to Ewa, to Debs, to Abigail, to Amoge, to Amore. You know, thank you to Ade, to Victoria, to Pamela, to Aliyah. I really want to say to Obi, to Daniel, to everybody that came through. I really want to say a big thank you. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for sticking around to the very end, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.